Yeah, we're out here at the Footscray station where they're doing a heap of works. As you can see, there's sort of tarps and infrastructure and framework, trucks, tractors, you name it, all sorts of implements of destruction. That's our latest ramp up there. We'll probably try a bit of hari-kari on that shortly. But I was out here yesterday with some people looking around and we didn't notice this. But if we look up along here, they've got this fence, this blue fence, right, running all the way along here. You're right, keep going, mate. But they've got this yellow thing that says,
sorry, mate,
no standing. Now, if you can't stand along there, where the heck are you supposed to stand except in front of the train? That's a bit of a worry. This is a makeshift exit they've designed for us. While, oh, here's our infamous mic. You better use this, I suppose. Just hang on a sec. Try and find the ticket here somewhere. Okay, that's all done. But yeah, this is the makeshift exit they've designed while they're doing all this works around here, which I guess all in all isn't too bad. We'll go for a little wander up over the top of the ramp here. All in all, as far as as far as the wheelchair use is concerned, I guess it's not really all that bad, especially electric chairs anyway. Manual chairs, well, this is not a bad ramp. I don't know whether it's a 14 in 1, I'm inclined to think it's probably pretty close. Michael was out here with me yesterday, he thinks it might even be lower than that, gently slower than that, but I don't know. But anyway, probably see up ahead there, we've got another wheelchair, got a push bike coming up behind me. All sorts of traffic on this ramp today. Bloke down here running his dog around with no lead, now the dog's taken off on him. So now he's got to go and find his dog. Use some brains. Put your dog on the lead. Okay, there's the stairs that you would probably use if you weren't in the wheelchair. I don't know what they're doing, but that's a lift for platform 1 over there. That's platform 1 down there. Down there. That's the lift for platform 1, and that's the lift for it. But I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do over here. We have been told that they're going to put back in the ramps that used to be here. So then we'll have stairs, lifts and ramps. And which will be ideal, actually. Probably no other way to say it. So now we're up the top. This is still the makeshift bit, and then we're just going to venture around the corner here, and we'll come back into. This is the new. This is where it's a bit ridiculous. Like, they just spent a lot of time and money on this station a couple of years ago, and already they're redoing it because, you know, when it was originally built, they took the ramps out. Well, that's fine, unless the lifts break down. And once the lifts break down, well, that's it. You know, you've had it. And so now they've decided that maybe you know, that's the lift for platform 2 and 3. I'm not going to go all over the place because that's not really what I wanted to get a film of today. What I really wanted to get was some of the work they've done in one spot in particular they've done out on the street. And in fact, I could probably do it quicker if I went back. We'll go down this platform 2 lift. Okay, I'm just taking you for the drive. I don't know how much of this I may or may not edit later. But so we'll go down this lift. We'll actually use it. Thank you. Window's a bit dirty, so you can't see too much out here. So that's the walkway we just come up on. That bloke's still looking for his dog, I think. Yeah, no, I think you see, I can see a little bit through here. Not too much. Okay, now we're down. Right now. Yeah, what? The reason we were out here yesterday was to do a bit of an access summary of the you know, while they're doing all the work. So as you can see, there's more implements of construction in here behind this fence. Alright, so it's all to do with the new regional line. Part of the plan is to open up a new regional line and get the country trains in and out of here a lot faster. You know, save them having to mess around with the metro system, I think, is the go. Well, this is where part of our problems start. If we go along here, you know, this footpath's not bad. It's up this end. This section of it's probably not too bad at all, really. But when we come up here further, I start to worry a bit more about the vision impaired more than anybody, I think. I think the vision impaired would actually find this a little bit disconcerting. Over this side, it's pretty much, well, you just don't use it, and they're recommending that pedestrians don't go over this side anyway. Well, I've got the shakes up here, getting a bit bumpy. Can't see what I'm pointing the camera at. Okay, so, but along this side even, right, there's a bit of rubbish left laying around from the workers, but up here, it's, I don't know, I did think if I was vision impaired, it would be a little bit of a worry if I actually get up on the footpath. Alright, and we'll sort of head up along here. Once again, along here, it's not too bad. Come up along here again. I just think, you know, for a vision impaired that might be using their stick, that truck along the edge of the gutter there as a guide, you know, to run your stick through that to guide you. Along here, this cement's got really rough edges on it. There's nothing smooth there at all. You know, over this side, if they're walking on this side and using the gutter as their guide, well, obviously the gutter's not in the best of condition. We could probably walk into a pole or two. Along here, I would classify that as, if I was using a stick, I'd probably be getting really concerned about where I was going. Oh, I might ask this bloke, does he want to swap? I'll have a go at that. Yeah. I'll have a go at driving that, but have a look at this footpath along here. Man, this is pretty rough, right? Even in a wheelchair, manual chair, you'd be probably not too impressed about it. But we still haven't got to the bit that I've come to show you yet. As you can see, I think there's a lot of reason for a bit of concern about the quality of what they've done along here. Here we are with the rough edge again. This is all quite confusing here, because I actually want to go, now I don't know where that truck's going, but he wants to use the same bit of road I do. Now, did you notice the way he gave way? Like I was on a pedestrian crossing. So you noticed that, did you? I thought you might have. Yeah, it's, well, like I was just sitting there with nothing else better to do. There was nowhere else to go, you know, I was just sitting there with nothing better to do, and had a pedestrian crossing, and he figured that he was allowed to just go away. Away he goes. Why not? Alright, anyway, so now we're heading over this side. I've got a car backing out of the driveway, but they've seen me coming, so that's good. Now, here's the creme de la creme. This is what I've come over here to talk about. Whether, I think a person with any sort of mobility challenge, whether it be a wheelchair, manual or electric, it's a bit rough. But vision impaired in particular, have a look here. Now, there's no indication at all to the passing traffic that we have a pedestrian crossing here. All right? This is a pedestrian crossing they brought in. They put this in to make it easier. And, you know, that's very appreciative. But it says here that pedestrians have got to give way to vehicles. Now, first of all, a vision impaired person isn't going to see that unless they've got a dog that can read and can pass messages on to them. So a vision impaired person isn't going to see that. Vision impaired person probably won't even realise there's a crossing here. But because the traffic doesn't know that this is actually now a crossing, they're not going to stop. Alright, so the idea is to get across here, and we've got some traffic coming. See, once again. Now he had no idea that I'm on a crossing. Right, and it's indicated for pedestrians to cross here. Big clear sign is saying pedestrians cross. This is a real issue, I think, and probably something that needs to be addressed. I have no real idea how long. Now on this side there's not even a sign saying to give way to cars. So because the pedestrians are encouraged to cross here, there's no zebra crossing, there's no signage to warn vehicles that there's people going to be crossing here. Normally pedestrians wouldn't cross. I'll show you where pedestrians would normally go, but because they've closed off the footpath, then the pedestrians can't do it. So we'll go back across this really interesting crossing we've got here. The crossing that isn't here. This is a Clayton's crossing. It's the crossing you have when you haven't got one. So people would say, well, all right, how else would you normally get across? You know, if they weren't there's no design for it to be a public pedestrian crossing along this road at all. Here's the pedestrian crossing here. And it heads up along this side of the street, so it gets you across the street here, right? So it's a fully marked, proper autographed pedestrian crossing, and then you go up to the traffic light. So if you wanted to cross over Nicholson Street here, because we're in Footscray, and this is Nicholson Street, Footscray. See the signs? Nicholson Street, it's a bent sign, and Napier Street. So we're at the intersection of Nicholson and Napier. So normally if you want to cross over Nicholson, you'd go up to the pedestrian lights up there. Alright, and cross over there, and here's the zebra crossing that would get you up towards those lights. But because they've blocked that footpath up there, so you can't get up there, we now have to cross here. And if you watch this lady here, she's crossing and watching where she's going. Okay, she's made it safely. And here comes the traffic just behind her. No one slowing down. Once again, no indication of a pedestrian crossing. And really, all in all, quite a dangerous piece of designing. In fact, it wasn't designed, it was just put there. Not good enough. Okay, just throwing a bit of an afterthought on this. I got back here, we're back at the bottom of those stairs, the bottom of that ramp that we went up before. Now if we come out here onto into Footscray, we've got the market across the road. Now, what we noticed yesterday, which is a bit of a concern, is here's all the bus stops. Now there used to be a footpath up here. Now people that are like myself with a bit of vision, we can probably look ahead and go, what's going on up here? There's a sign. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Now that's actually telling us as pedestrians to turn around, the footpath is closed. But let's go back to a person with a vision impairment. There's nothing at all to indicate to them that this is actually a closed footpath. Alright, and now if they're used to heading down here to where their bus normally would be, because there's a bus stop behind this blue sheet up here. There's probably a few bus stops up there actually. Now we've encountered nobody telling us that we can't come through. So if a vision impaired person was to come up here, and I know because we had Bianca with us yesterday, and Bianca agreed, if they got to this point, all of a sudden they got a fence in front of them. There's once again nothing to indicate really, because if they run along the fence a bit, then they find that they can get around it. So they get around it, cross over here, which is a really rough piece of work, road work, as you can see there, and then look at they strike on the other side. Now I don't know about you, but I think if I was having a bit of trouble watching where I was going, by now I would be most concerned as to exactly where I was. So I think I'd nearly lose all. I'd be really wondering, well, where am I? How come I've got all these problems in front of me? And I think that's really dangerous, and I don't know how they need to fix it, but they need to fix it, because all in all, the bus stops have been moved down here. Everyone that's catching buses actually catches them. I'm just trying to see what I'm looking at here with this camera. Can't see the screen, the light's reflecting off it. But all in all, you have to come back up to the traffic lights up here, because that's the way to get across. But once again, for vision impaired people, not a good thing, I don't think. There is one thing I've noticed, Footscray is getting very progressive. Believe it or not. Yeah, I noticed this yesterday. I says to myself, I says, oh, look at that. Now, out here in the western suburbs, we don't have any low floor trams. But yes, we do have a low floor tram, an accessible or super stop, a raised platform, whatever you want to call it. We've got a raised platform stop. No low floor trams, but we've got a raised platform. There's 2 of them on this line now, because there's another one. Okay, now we can go. We're going to have a closer look at it, because there's another one of these out of High Point. Been out there for ages. It's probably been out there that long it's gone rusty, so it doesn't get used. But as you can see, we've got a platform stop. Alright, very good. But like I said, no low floor trams. So yeah, look, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. You know, as they put together, these things are going to happen. We're going to see it. I guess one of the things that concerns me about this particular platform is, why do we have to have a step here? Why was it necessary to have a step? Because the roadway's been blocked, right? So the traffic can't get through. It's all footpath. The only 2 places for people that have problems with stairs, now once again, that's a whole variety of people. Yes, works for me as well in a wheelchair. It's one of the few, I must admit, tram stops that I've seen with wheelchair access at both ends. Right, it's got the ramp at this end and the ramp, as we saw, at the other end. But it does sort of bemuse me a little bit that we actually have that step along here. I really can't see why they would have done that, other than just to trip people up at night. Why else, would it be there for? Anyway, so as you can see, Footscray is becoming a very progressive place with an accessible tram stop. Have a good day.